Hello, my sweet and dirty readers. It's Sierra, and we are back for another segment of Sierra Talks Books with Authors, where if you're sweet and you love to read dirty, then you're in the right place. Now, today I have with me multi-published LGBTQ author Annabeth Albert, who is also one of my cohorts in the Sarina Bowen's World of True North. So we're going to be talking to her about her upcoming book that releases this month called Featherbed, and talk about her career, the books that she writes, and most recently the success that she had in 2020 with her book Conventionally Yours, which was recognized as one of 2020's best romances by not only Cosmopolitan magazine, but also Amazon's Best Romances of 2020, New York Times Best Books of the Summer, and get this, Entertainment Weekly and Oprah magazine. Holy cow. So I am very excited to talk about Annabeth and learn about her and her books. So please join me in welcoming Annabeth Albert. Hello and welcome back to another Sierra Talks Books with Authors, where today I have multi-published, critically acclaimed LGBTQ author Annabeth Albert. Welcome, Annabeth.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for joining me. So today we are going to talk about your career as a romance author, and then really delve into the world of True North, which both of us are authors in, but in different lines. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then also about your upcoming book, Featherbed.
Yeah, I'm excited. Featherbed is coming on the 15th, and I'm very excited.
When did you start your career in writing, and why?
So I've written as long as I can remember. Like, I started writing fanfic in like junior high before I even knew like what fanfic was. I just knew that I didn't like how certain books ended. Like, I didn't like how these happy golden years cut off at the good parts. And I'm like, I could write that. And I was like 14 and writing fanfic and just trying different things, like a gender swapped Indian in the cupboard and stuff. And so, but then I fast forward a bunch of years and I went to graduate school and I read Laurie Foster's Mr. November. Okay. And I've been reading romance since my teens, but I read that book and I was like, I want to write a rom-com. And I was in the middle of graduate school, but I was like, I'm going to write. So I just started writing. This was 2003. And it took a bunch more years to actually get published. A bunch of books. I tried different genres. I tried YA. I tried regular romance. I tried more suspense. I tried a bunch of different things. Finally found my home in LGBTQ romance and got published. Troublemaker was the first book that I sold, but the first book that published, just because of the way the publisher did it, was actually served hot. Those ones sold right around the same time back in 2012, 2013. So it took me about 10 years from the first book to like actually selling a book.
Wow.
But around the same time that I sold to a publisher for the first time, I also did a couple of anthologies that were indie pubbed, and I discovered that I really liked that. So I've always had my finger kind of in both since being published.
Okay. All right. Do you write solely in the LGBTQ romance subgenre, or in others as well?
Right now, it's all LGBTQ. It's I've written mainly male-male pairings, but a bunch of different sexualities and identities within that male-male sort of subgenre. But I've also written a female-female short, and I intend to write more in that sort of area. And just, it's what my muse brings me right now. I'd never say never for the future, but right now I feel really at home with the LGBTQ romance as kind of my home base.
That's your home base.
I was watching the Sing-Off that summer in 2011, and I saw the Sing-Off, and I was like, you know, I think I want to write a book about two dudes in a singing competition. And they both were definitely dudes. And I was like, okay. I was like, at that point, I'd written so many books that hadn't sold. I was like, what's the worst that can happen? Right. So I wrote it. I spent the next year and a half revising it, and it eventually sold. So
my most recent one that I read of yours was Arctic Sun. And I love of course, you know, the setting in the Pacific Northwest, since we're both Pacific Northwest authors.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Oregon set books, some in Washington, some in Oregon, Alaska. I love the Northwest, but I also have one set other ways.
Gotcha.
Chose to be here. So I really love this region. And I think that comes across in a lot of my stories. And I like kind of capturing it for outsiders, like, you know, kind of showing the quirkiness and the unique geography and the things that kind of make the Northwest the Northwest. It's kind of fun. And I like, I like the setting a lot. And I've set a lot of books in California just because that's where it needed to be for either the music series or my Seal series. They kind of had to be in California. But when I get to choose, like, it is kind of fun to come back to the Northwest or to other cities that I've been in and enjoyed and stuff. But yeah, I like writing.
Absolutely. And it's fun to write this this area, because it is, you can capture the beauty of it and the and gift that to readers. How and why did you choose to submit your book to Sarina Bowen's World of True North?
So I'm a huge Sarina fangirl. I've been reading her ever since The Year We Fell Down. I started reading her right around when that book came out. So I've read her for years and years. And we've chatted before. And I saw that she was going to do this. And I wasn't sure whether it was going to have any LGBTQ pairings. And we talked. And she said it was. And so as we were talking, I was like, I want to do a Fish Out of Water. I want to do a City Slicker. And she was like, what if you did the bookstore guy? I submitted the proposal. I had a whole plot outline with 19 plot points, and I was like, I really want to write this. So when she said I'd get to write it, I was so excited, and it's such an honor to get to go first and to launch this series and to launch the bookstore that's kind of at the heart of the series. And it's a very fun story, and it gripped me from the beginning, and I couldn't wait to start it. And once I got to start it, I wrote it pretty fast, and I was just really in love with the whole thing.
That's awesome. And for those watching who don't know what we're talking about, it is so your book Featherbed will be in the Vino and Veritas line. So in Sarina's World of True North, there's 4 different like series lines, and the Vino and Veritas is the LGBTQ. And I loved when I read the description of the book Featherbed, which again releases March 15th, when a bookworm meets a younger, free-spirited chicken farmer.
I knew awesome. I wanted to do a farmer, but Sarina has done some amazing farmers, and I didn't want to like encroach on that and make him like an apple farmer or something. Okay. And then I was like, what if he did chickens? Because here in Oregon, backyard poultry is huge right now. And so like every other house has a coop. And I'm like, this has to be a trend elsewhere. And so I did research, and I found out that yes, indeed, Vermont loves their chickens. And I was like, he's an organic poultry farmer. And that's going to be so fun.
So what else can you tell us about the book, about the plot, about the characters, anything else that you can share?
Yeah, so Finn is my chicken farmer that we just talked about. So Finn is a little bit younger than Harrison, but he's like in his early 30s. So he's not super young. This isn't like a 20-year-old hero. So he's the 5th or 6th generation farmer. His family has had this land forever, and he is Vermont tried and true. And so and farming is what he is like. And then Harrison comes from New York City. He grew up in New York City. He comes from more of a moneyed background. He was a lawyer in New York City. So he's very much the city slicker. But his mom comes from Vermont, and his mom has a dream, and her dream is an inclusive bookstore. And Harrison wants to make her dream come true. So Harrison is along for the ride for this bookstore, and it's become sort of his dream too, but he's really kind of there for the mom. And he doesn't know what to make of Vermont and chicken farmers. And they haven't been having the bookstore very long when a delivery of chickens shows up. And obviously the delivery was supposed to go to Finn, and the case of mistaken address is how the two meet. And so there's chickens, and they're on the loose, and it's a lot of fun. The feathers are literally flying, but also the sparks, and they kind of have an immediate attraction. And it was really fun to write because it's really a romp and fluffy. And in 2020, when I was writing the book, it was exactly what I needed to be writing. A lot of people have been asking me, do you have to have read all of the other True North books in order to enjoy Featherbed? And obviously, I love Sarina. I think you should read everything that Sarina has written, and I think you should read all of the other series too. But it stand alone pretty well. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's launching Vino and Veritas, and the other books will kind of follow from it. And you don't have to have read anything else if if you're intrigued by. And you can also read the other books out of order too. So if one looks great,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of jump back and forth, read out of order. The series is designed to do that. So I think that's important for readers to know that you can kind of hop around. Vino and Veritas was launching the LGBTQ line.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have as much crossover with Sarina's books as some of the other books.
Okay.
So my crossovers are mainly my book going forward. So like I have Garrett Lee's heroes are, they're the next book. And so her hero is hired by my heroes to run the bar side. And then Garrett's book will take off from that point. You'll get to find out a lot more about Garrett's hero. And I hired Eden Finley's, one of Eden Finley's heroes is working in the bookstore. And so we drop his name a little bit. And then J.E. Burke and Laurel Greer, I got their heroes, just little brief cameos. So I didn't get like everything going. Oh, and Marley Valentine's Oz is in my book, and I can't wait to read Oz's book. So it was really fun just to, and we're not, these are just cameos, little drops, but readers will start looking forward to those books, I think, as much as I am. To me, when you're doing a shared universe, this is one of the fun parts, is other books. You get to be a reader too. I'm like, I can't wait to like dive into these other books. So I'm really excited.
Exactly. Yep. I already have yours pre-ordered. And you, while everyone else seemed to have just a really bad year in 2020, man, you came out with a book, Conventionally Yours, that it was critically acclaimed, featured as the best romance of 2020 in Entertainment Weekly, Oprah Magazine.
It was kind of nuts.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I should point out that it was written in 2019 because I know that everybody kind of had a lot of trouble writing in 2020 and I don't and so I was lucky that it was already through edits and in arcs and it was out. And so I did write the sequel to it in 2020, but that was written beforehand. So, but all the success was just amazing. Like sometimes when you write a book, you just know that it's special to you. Like I've written 35 plus books and every book I love, but some books are just, and so that book totally was special for me. And so to see critics and the audience find it and the audio audience find it, and it's just been really fun for that book. And the sequel to that book is dropping in July, and it stars another character in the series, and I'm really excited for that book too, because it was just fun to return to that universe, to write the new adulty sort of YA crossover. It's just a real fun age to write, and I love the voice that that series gave me. And
that's great.
It's really good when you love a book and then other people love it as much as you do. I think that's what it's like. And so Conventionally Yours did sort of benefit from the trad pub side, but you know, it sometimes it kind of has a life of its own. And I think it's a book that's really close to my heart. And so I think that, you know, in terms of the actual writing, what's different there is I think I tapped a level of authenticity that, I mean, every book I try to obviously write authentically, but they're gamers, they're young guys coming out of college, they play a card game. I'm obsessed with Magic the Gathering. I love playing board games and card games, and so I was able to bring that love to the book. And so I think that added something too. When you love something, I think it comes across on the page. And so I mean, I try to do it again with every book, but when you really love something, I think it does shine through.
If a reader asks, what, you know, where should I start, you know, in the 35 plus books that Annabeth Albert has, which one would you recommend to them?
Well, so I think one we were just talking about, Conventionally Yours, is a great starter. It's a little lower on the heat. It's got the new adult guys. It's a great book for people that maybe haven't read a male-male pairing before. They're wanting to kind of try an LGBTQ romance, but they don't know. It's a great one one. I actually think Featherbed is also a great introduction because it stands alone. It's not part of any of my other series. And it can hook you into reading all these other amazing, great authors in the LGBTQ romance world. So if you like Featherbed, you'll be able to find a lot of other things. And it's light, it's fluffy, it's sexy, but it's not kinky sexy. And so, like, I think it's a good introduction too.
What will be the first thing you and your family do when we're no longer in quarantine?
I want to go hug my mom. It's just, we live in the same area, but we haven't actually gotten to hug. Like, we've seen each other in the driveway. We've exchanged food. We've exchanged gifts. But, like, I want my mom to be in my kitchen, and I want to cook for my mom, and I want her at my table. Like, everything else will be gravy after that.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, so what do you have coming up then later this year? You said you have a July release with the next one. Is that one Out of Character? Is that what it's called?
Out of Character. That's following up Conventionally Yours. So Featherbed comes March 15th, so coming right up. And then Up in Smoke releases April 27th. That's another firefighter book from me, but it stands alone really well. And it is my take on the secret baby book. So it's a male-male pairing, but there's a secret baby. And so it's a really fun one. And it stands alone really well. And then Out of Character comes in July. And then in September, I have Sailor Proof, which is a new military romance series from me. And it's up on pre-order, and it should be really fun. People that liked my SEAL series, I think, will really like going back to military romance with me in that series. And then we'll see if I get any other releases in. That's what I know is coming. Probably there'll be at least one other indie release, but we'll have to see where it falls.
Okay. Wow. I'm like worn out just listening to all of you.
A lot of the books were written prior to this.
Yeah, but still, that is a lot. That's incredible. You keep going. So where can readers find you?
So on Facebook, I have a great reader group, Annabeth's Angels, especially if you're new to the LGBTQ romance genre. We welcome you. We love giving book recs. We like, talking books with people. It's a real welcoming, inclusive space. So that's Annabeth's Angels on Facebook. And then obviously you can follow me on social, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. I'm trying to do more with Instagram. So I'm on social, and I have my website, and you can check me out there. And I have all my books are on Amazon as well as other retailers. And so, lots of ways. I love hearing from readers. So if you pick up Featherbed and you like it, like, let me know. Like, I love hearing from people. I like seeing your tweets and your Facebook messages. And so, if you pick it up and love it, I want to know.
Awesome. Well, it has been a pleasure speaking with you, Annabeth. So many great things. I cannot wait to read Featherbed and all of the subsequent books that come out of the Vino Veritas. And I wish you much success in the coming year.
Thank you. And same to you. I can't wait to read all the hockey books. I'm really excited.
I know, me too. Awesome. And that's it, folks. Thank you so much to Annabeth Albert for joining us today to talk about her upcoming book in the Sarina Bowen's World of True North, Vino Veritas line. Her book Featherbed comes out March 5th, so make sure you pick that one up. And then all of the subsequent books will be releasing over the course of the next few months, so you don't want to miss those. And come back for more interviews with authors as I sit down and talk with other authors from the World of True North series. And until then, make sure that you be sweet, love hard, and read dirty. See you next time.